Hi guys, Scott Woodward with you for Champion Profits. We're going to preview the big 2011 Rugby League Four Nations final between England and Australia to be run this Saturday, 6 p.m. local time in Leeds, Eland Road. Wonderful stadium that. And it works out to be 5 a.m. Eastern Standard Daylight Saving Time in Sydney. So I have to get up early for the game. But look, I think it'll be well worthwhile. This is going to be a fantastic game. Coming into the game, we didn't rate much between New Zealand and England, and there was a big difference in the price. Basically double the price. New Zealand were around $6 and England were double digits. So given that, clearly England were the value for us. So we've backed England to win the final, and they've now come in with the bookmakers from double digits to be $4.50, and they are $5 with the exchanges. So it's a very easy bet back and make a profit and just watch the game if you want to do that. The other investment that we had on the game was that we backed Australia at $1.40, and they come into $1.20 and now got out a little bit. So you could do the same thing there, make the profit and just win the game. But in all honesty, the price that Australia are at the moment, I think that's a fair price. I think that's what they should be, and I will try and justify that in a few moments' time. Let's just quickly look at the injuries. The weather looks like it'll be okay. It's certainly going to be cold, around 7 degrees. That won't be a problem for footballers. They'll certainly be warming up pretty quickly, but the weather won't be a factor. As far as the prices are concerned, with the referee, Matt Chechen, the NRL experienced referee, will be the man in charge, and that's a big plus for Australia. One of the ways that Australia could have beaten this, could have been beaten here, is if there was some bad refereeing by some inexperienced referees, particularly Perinara, the New Zealand guy, who is very promising, let me say, but he just wasn't ready for the big occasion last week, and he stuffed up quite badly. Look, I think we're going to get a good 10 metres. I think it'll be well refereed, and I don't see that as a problem. So that's a good thing for Australia. That was one thing that they could have had against them that they haven't got against them now. Just quickly looking at the injuries, Australia continue to have problems in the centres. Chris Lawrence and Greg Inglis haven't pulled up well. I think they will both play, but they have got Morris on standby if there's a problem with one of those two guys. Ellis has got that spasm in his back, and he had to pull out last week. He's England's best forward, in my opinion, and it's very important for him to come in and nice and fresh, providing his back's okay. That's a big in for England. They need his work rate, and they need his decisive runs on the edge of the ruck. So that's a big in for England if Ellis plays. So, look, let's just go quickly through the plays in the sides. As expected, the teams aren't announced yet. We're talking Thursday morning, just a disgraceful exhibition of how to market a product. But we think we've got the team right anyway, so we'll go through it with you. Darius Boyd has been one of Australia's best players at fullback, and he got a full 80 minutes in last week. He won't let anyone down. He's not Billy Slater, but he is a world-class player. He'll be fine. We think Yo-Yo will be on the right wing. I think he has got some defensive problems, but he's a brilliant attacking player, very good in the air, and I think they'll test him in the air very early on. Greg Inglis and Chris Lawrence we've spoken about. They're both left centres. Chris Lawrence is playing on the right, and I've been very impressed with how well he's gone on the right, and he will cause problems to the England centre and also the left wing. We're going to talk about that in a second. I'm referring to Kirk Yeaman and also Ryan Hall. I think they've got a problem in defence, and I think you'll find that Chris Lawrence and Akila Iwate will exploit them. I'm sure they will. They did last time they played, and I think they'll do it again. Akila Iwate, in my opinion, is the best winger in the world. I think, and he's only a kid. I think he could be anything. He doesn't have too many faults. Maybe a little iffy in the air. But after that, he's just an absolutely dynamic winger, and we really don't know how good he's going to be. Darren Lockyer, it's his last game. Certainly one of the greatest players I've ever seen, fullback and centre. He's just an outstanding player. I don't think I've seen a better Queensland player. And I would only rate him in front of Wally Lewis, only for the fact that he's played week in, week out in the tough NRL competition. Wally Lewis never did that. He was a State of Origin player as far as I'm concerned. Jonathan Thurston, I rate him the best player in the world. and that's going to be Australia's big strength. Darren Lockyer and Jonathan Thurston. England haven't got that organisation, and they haven't got that tactical kicking, although the tactical kicking last week from Sinfield was outstanding. Matt Scott, probably the best prop in the world. Cameron Smith, the greatest hooker forward of all time, is alongside of Matt Scott, and Paul Gallen will be the other prop, and he's certainly arguably Australia's best forward. So it's just an outstanding start Australia have there in the back line. Sam Thaiday and Luke Lewis are both world class, outstanding, and Anthony Watmoe locks in the scrum in great form. Has got a few mistakes in him, but he'll rev up for this game, and I think we'll see him continue on with his great form that he showed in the grand final and the semi-finals prior to that. On the bench, the two forwards, Shillington and Galloway, will be fine. Look, I don't think they're world beaters, but I think they'll come on and do their job. Galloway, I don't think, is up to this class, but I don't think he'll cause them any problems. Cooper Cronk, look, in all honesty, I don't know where he plays. He's all over the place, and he gives them like a second 5'8", a second halfback, and he's caused problems every time he comes on. But the main thing that he does, he's outstanding at organising, and he's an outstanding talker, and he just revs them all up when he's on there. The coach just loves to have him on there. Tony Williams will be the other guy off the bench, and obviously he can play anywhere, but the impact that he makes off the bench is outstanding, and they'll be trying to get as many minutes out of Tony Williams as what they can. All in all, it's a very, very well-balanced Australian side. I'm struggling to see a weakness in it. If Billy Slater was playing fullback, I would say it's probably the best Australian team I've ever seen. And that's no slight on Boyd, but it is an outstanding team, this Australian team. And simply because it's such a good team, they are playing away, I know that, but it's Darren Lockyer's last game, and he's a very, very popular player with his teammates, and they will all be busting in their guts, as they would be anyway, because they're playing for Australia, to get him home. If it comes down to a crunch game, I think the Darren Lockyer factor will make a big difference. But in all honesty, I think there's a couple of tries advance for Australia there that they've got over England. Just quickly running through the England team, Sam Tompkins, I run him in the top 5 players in the world. I've never been able to say that about an English player. He is just an out-and-out superstar, and I rate him on the same level as Billy Slater. And in fact, he's got a better sidestep than Billy Slater, and he's arguably quicker off the mark than Billy Slater, and that's a big statement. He's just got everything, this kid. Unbelievable player, and he certainly can win the game for England on his own. The way he stood up Benji Marshall last week, I've never seen anyone do that. It was just amazing. Ryan Hall, probably been the form winger of the competition. He's big, strong and fast, and he's world class. He's outstanding. I think he'd go fantastic in the NRL. Reid, the Bronco centre, has been a big success for England. He gives them stability. He can bust a line. He's fast. He's very good in the air, and he's a very good defender. That's something that they've been lacking in previous years. Here's a weakness. Kirk Yeaman, the Pommies say that he's a lot like Jamie Lyon. I don't think he's anything like Jamie Lyon. He doesn't read defence very well, and I think he'll be a big problem for England. Tom Briscoe. Well, Tom Briscoe got run down by a New Zealand forward last week after having a big break on him. Got run down. I couldn't believe it. So I don't know what he's doing playing in an international. When a winger is clear and he gets run down by a forward, that's time to go, as far as I'm concerned. Look, I've been critical of Kev Sinfield. I've never seen him play as good as what he does at club level, at international level, but he did last week. He was outstanding. He controlled the game. His kicking game was spot on. He kept talking, and he was an outstanding lick man. Look, he doesn't look dangerous when he's got the ball like Lockyer and Thurston do, but he's very experienced. He's a good talker, and if he can have that same kicking game again, he will put England right into this game. But I have to say, I've never seen him do anything when he's played against Australia. He's never been a star. And when you're playing, when you're the guy controlling the game and you're playing 5'8", you have to be a star. And he's never ever shown it against Australia. But he's going to have to come up again like he did last week if there's going to be any chance in this game. Rangy Chase has been a wonderful selection as far as I'm concerned at halfback. He really is a 5'8", but he's making a good fist of halfback. He's dangerous every time he's got the ball. He looks like he's going to make a break every time he's got the ball. And he did some really nice little deft kicks last week. And he complements Sinfield very well. I like the combination that they've got there. Look, it's not what I would have, but it worked for them really well last week. And if they can repeat that again, they're going to be in this game right up to their shoelaces. Their forwards, Graham is a world-class forward. I like to see him do more with the ball. His work rate is terrific. His go forward's terrific, and he's actually a lot faster than what he looks. He can certainly make a break, but I'd like to see him look a bit more dangerous when he's got the ball and don't be so predictable. Roby, I had no idea that he was so good. Roby is a genuine 80-minute hooker forward. His work rate was terrific in defence and attack. He looked dangerous every time he got the ball. And look, he's not Cameron Smith, but he's a next ruck down, and he's a very, very good player, and I've been very impressed with Roby. Jamie Peacock, I don't know how he keeps turning up. He's battered all over the place. He's got a heart as big as England itself. He's just wonderful to have him in the team. As good as what he is, and what a wonderful servant he has been for England, he's way past his best, and he wouldn't be in my side, but he's such a great leader. I know that he won't let them down in this game, and he'll be a factor at some stage. We've talked about Ellis coming back into the side. He's a massive in. He's dangerous. He's got a wonderful work rate, and important for England, he can play a full 80 minutes. He's just a very, very a guy that's got a big motor and will keep on going. So has Westwood. Westwood was outstanding last week. He just kept on going. He's tough. He'd run into a brick wall. Look, he hasn't got any skills, but you give him the ball, he'll take it forward and he'll hurt somebody, and that's his role in the side, and it worked for them very well last week. Heinington is another high work rate guy who can also play 80 minutes, and he's been very good as that link man, and he's been very good in defence for them. I'd like to see him do more in attack. We know he can make a break, and we know he can set plays up, and we know he can be the man there when somebody makes the break to get the ball. So he's a dangerous player for Australia. But, look, he's up against, we talk about how good he is, but he's up against some guys like Sam Thaiday, Luke Lewis, and Anthony Watmo, who, to be fair dinkum, is probably just not quite there at that level, as good as what a club player Heinington is. On the bench, Widdop didn't play much week because England had that game in control. If England are getting beaten in this game, I'm sure Widdop will come in a lot earlier in this game because he's devastating. He's got enormous speed, very much like Sam Tompkins, and he can link up with Ranji Chase, and I think we'll be seeing a fair bit of Widdop because I expect England to be behind in this game. Morley breaks the record for England in this game, being a wonderful servant to them. He's a class act, and he'll be great off the bench. Jamie Jones-Buchanan hits the line 1,000 miles an hour. You'll know that he's there. And I like the way that Wilkin comes on off the bench and looks to offload and create second phase play. He will be dangerous for Australia. So, look, there it is. If you sum up all the players and you're going to rate them all, there's not a hell of a lot of difference in the forwards, and really, in some instances, there's not that much difference in the backs, and Sam Tompkins adds a lot there. But really, the big difference are the three big guns for Australia. It's something that England haven't got. They cannot combat the likes of Jonathan Thurston and Darren Lockyer and Cameron Smith. These are three highly intelligent guys who read a game of football very well. They know when to go left, they know when to go right, and they know when to put in a long kick and a short kick, and that's a skill, and that's an expertise that England don't have, and that's the difference between the two sides, and that's why I think Australia will win this game by more than 2 converted tries. And look, that's the betting at the moment. Australia have got around about a 12.5 point start, and to be honest, I was prepared to give England only about 11.5 point start. That's under a 2 converted try start, and the reason why I increased it to a full converted tries to 12 points was because of the referee. I thought we might have had a New Zealand or an England referee in this game, and I was prepared to go under 2 converted tries. But now that we have Chechen refereeing, we have an NRL Australian referee, I think it'll be a fair dinkum game, and I don't think it'll be intimidated by the big partisan crowd. And I just think that's an edge that Australia will have that will just kick them away and make that more than a two converted try start. So I'm happy to give them the 2 try start. My 100% market, I have Australia at $1.20 and England at $5.80 at 100%. And I don't think anyone will be betting that percentage market, but I think Australia are genuine $1.20 pops. I think this is a wonderful side. They've been very well prepared, and the exciting thing from an Australian point of view is I don't think we've seen the best of Australia yet in this competition. They've been winning their games very, very easily. They've gone through undefeated. They've scored 118 points compared to England's 90 points. But both teams have conceded 46 points. So Australia are better than that, and I don't think we've seen the best of them. I think we'll be seeing the best of them at Eland Road on the weekend. And for me, I can only see Australia winning this game comfortably by more than 2 converted tries. Good luck. I hope you enjoyed. I don't want to have a bet on the game because I think the prices are right. But for the Champion Profits members, we'll be getting the latest updates and any change in betting to you on Friday. We've had a wonderful two or 3 weeks. The racing, the golf, the EPL, the tennis, it's all been just nearly every trade have won for us. And so members are having a great time. Thank you very much for the testimonials that have come in, and we think we can keep it up. The golf starts today in the President's Cup, and we think we can keep that roll going, and we've got a great weekend coming up as well in the EPL. So there it is. Have a great weekend, and I'll look forward to talking to you pretty soon. Cheers.